Wright Tech, I'm Mile.
And I'm Nora.
And we welcome you to Right Now News, where we bring you the latest stories and events.
This is our third show, and we can't wait to get started. Let's kick it off with this story by Eastmo with an update on Wright Tech's cell phone policy.
Many schools are beginning to enforce stricter rules on phone use during school hours. This issue has created conflict between students and teachers as schools try to improve learning environments.
Today we are here with
Ms. Ginsburg,
and she will explain why the phone ban is enforced in schools. Why do you support the phone ban?
I support banning phones everywhere in every school across the globe because they really aren't just phones, are they? They are for gaming and for social media and for texting and for all of these things that are really just distractions. It has stripped students of good attention span, reading comprehension, the ability to have good stamina and get work done without being distracted. So it has done way more harm than good, unfortunately.
Now let's speak to some students who agree with the policy and say it helps them focus.
Are you against the phone ban?
No, because kids being on their phones these days, they're really addicted to it, and it doesn't give them time to focus in what's going on in class.
Has this helped your learning?
Yes, because instead of me being on my phone, I'm here listening to what the teacher is saying and teaching to the students.
However, not all students believe and agree that phones should still be around. Let's see what some of these students have to say.
Should phones be allowed in school?
Yes, they should be allowed in school. I feel like kids should be allowed to use their cell phones in school.
Why do you disagree with the ban?
I disagree because you can't take the rights for a kid using their phone. Like, they can use their phone for anything.
What can your phone help you with in school?
It can help me concentrate if I'm doing an assignment and I want to listen to some music.
Study shows that phone use in classroom can impact focus and academic performance, which is why many schools are enforcing these policies. Phone bans continue to be debated as schools try to balance focus and students' rights and opinions. Next year, schools will keep these rules or make them even stricter. This is Eastmo reporting from Wright Tech. Thanks for watching.
You know, I think there is definitely a time and place for phones in school.
Yeah, not in the middle of class to check the time.
Exactly. It definitely affects student behavior.
That's actually our next topic of our next segment. Kayla and Liana, take it away.
Hello and welcome to the news with Kaylee and Leanna. Today we will be taking a look about how teachers feel about the behaviors of students here at Wright. Let's get started. There have been many teachers who have talked about students' behavior being disrespectful, rude, or even them being unmotivated to learn in school.
We decided to talk with some of the teachers and ask them their side of this and why they believe this.
My name is Elsa Gentile, and I'm the reading teacher.
My name is Melissa Gordon, and I teach 9th and 10th grade English.
Hi, I'm Brian Colantonio. I teach social studies.
Why do you think students are unmotivated?
Whenever they're asked to do a task that requires a little bit more time, they feel overwhelmed.
It can be anything, but only they know the real reasons why they are or aren't motivated.
When we see students as unmotivated, what really we're actually seeing is that they just don't see a connection.
Do you think teachers play a part in this?
To a certain extent. The teacher can't do everything. It has to be an even divide.
Making academics a little bit more hands-on might actually help their motivation.
I think teachers might mistake students for being unmotivated when really they're just being very normal teenagers.
Do you think you can help students stop being disrespectful and unmotivated?
I do think teachers can do a lot to have good relationships with students.
So if you need motivation to be here, try being respectful and see how much more you get from the people around you.
Or the teacher is modeling what good behavior, good speech looks like.
Not only teachers of our school think this, there have been other cases like this at other schools in different states.
In Texas, a teacher shared a post on Facebook talking about quitting being a teacher due to the students and even their parents, all because they had been rude to her.
She shared photos of how her class was left after the students used it. There has also been some data of how worse or improved the behavior of students has been. Now we ask what your thoughts are. This is Kaylee reporting for Wright Tech. Thanks for watching.
Our next segment is about one of the most anticipated events of the year.
Are you talking about the car show?
Of course I am. Sean is here to tell us about how excited everybody is.
Here we find ourselves in the automotive shop where students are working diligently to prepare themselves for the upcoming car show, set to take place on the 17th of next month. We'll be talking with the head of the department, Mr. Goldbeck, as well as a sophomore in the trade, Anthony Rodriguez, as he is the one credited for making the poster of this year's car show.
The car show is going to have mostly vintage cars. So I changed it to a car that looks vintage and then edited into the poster.
In addition to making this year's poster for the car show, Anthony has switched gears and begun working on the trophy for the token car of this event.
This year, we're mostly preparing the same way we did last year. We usually use like scraps from parts from other cars that we don't really use. For example, last year, I was working on a trophy. I used a piston to make a face, and yeah, it was pretty fun.
So the car show for first timers is a great event. It's community, very family friendly. Not only do we have food, we have games, we have face painting for little kids. For the big kids, we have all kinds of vehicles from European supercars to American muscle to supercharged drag cars. We have about 250 to 300 cars during the day, during the event.
Mr. Goldbeck has a great deal of faith that the expansion of the car show in the future will help Wright Tech's automotive shop reach new heights of publicity.
In future years, we're really hoping to bring in an increased amount of people, not only for the car show, but we're trying to really expose our school in a lot of different programs and things that we do.
He intends to achieve this through brand deals.
We have a Hot Wheel giveaway sponsored by Miller Motor Car.
As well as news stories like these. Liam, signing off.
Thank you, Liam. Now we're going to go on to Sean's video, which is about the same topic, but going into a deeper perspective of it. Take it away.
Hello, everybody. Today I'll be interviewing people on the 9th annual Wright Tech Car Show, the most anticipated event of the year.
Are you going?
Of course I am. Are you?
Me too. I hope you're not driving.
Are you saying you wouldn't get into a car with me?
You could probably drive better than me.
Well, speaking of driving, roads are getting pretty dangerous with e-bikes lately, and underage drivers too.
Ian and Aiden have more on these safety concerns.
Here in Stanford, the misuse of e-bikes by the youth has been a persistent issue for the locals. Now over to Ian, who's going to take a deep dive into the public opinion.
I'm here with a local driver in Stanford who has some thoughts on the e-bikes. What are your thoughts on the e-bikes, and do they interfere with your driving?
I'm really worried about what will happen to the kids, whether there are going to be serious injuries, especially as we get more and more of them, because I have a son who's in middle school, and all he does is want one, too. So this is going to be a big problem from the little to the big kids.
Thank you. I'm here with Jamie Cree, a high school security guard. Jamie, how do you feel about underage drivers using their main form of transportation with e-bikes? Do you think it gets in the way of public safety?
I could appreciate the fact that they use these things for public transportation to either get to school or get to work, but the others, they're very aggressive, they're reckless, and not following the rules of the road.
Thank you, Ian. It says here, e-bikes are put into 3 different classes, 1 and 2 being restricted just as much as normal bicycles. Class 3, where it gets tricky. There are few restrictions, including mandatory helmets in many areas, age minimums, which are often 16 plus, and bans from traditional bike paths. They are generally allowed on the roads and in bike lanes, with a 750 watt power limit. Now to a local state officer on his thoughts about e-bikes, their rules, and regulations.
I'm here with local law enforcement Trooper Bastolas, and we are here to talk about the laws on the e-bikes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Anything under 750 watts with pedal assist does not require any licensing or any registrations for the e-bikes. Once you get over the 750 cc's and without pedal assist, pending on top speeds, it might require licensing or registration. It all depends on the wattage of each bike.
That concludes our news segment. Parents, if your child uses or wants to use an e-bike, make sure they're using it properly. And anyone who wants to buy an e-bike for themselves, make sure to look up on your local laws and regulations. This is Aiden Taylor, signing off.
I cannot believe how dangerous the roads are getting.
I know, right? I think we may have saved the best for last. Here's our segment on the World Cup, which is coming up soon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Tech News.
This is Nora and Mile coming at you with a segment about the World Cup that includes both student interviews and a brief rundown on how the tournament works. I know absolutely nothing about soccer, so the World Cup for me is all about rooting for teams.
Well, that's what I'm here for. I'll teach you everything you need to know.
Well, let's get started. We have less than 50 days to turn me into a soccer expert.
So for anybody unfamiliar with the World Cup like Nora, World Cup starts with the league phase round of qualifiers. Whoever has the right amount of points will automatically qualify. When the event starts, it starts with the group stage. The two top teams advance to the knockout stage, and the third group have a chance to go along with them.
A big part of the World Cup is all about the fans. Let's see what some soccer fans here at Wright Tech have to say about this year's tournament.
There's so many things that can happen in the World Cup. Overall, any country can win with chances like these.
It brings out like the best of the best in soccer. Prices is another thing that kind of turned me off to go into a game.
Definitely the sport in general, it gets crazy. The tickets are crazy expensive.
I feel like the atmosphere and expectations are pretty high. I'm not going because the tickets are pretty expensive.
Well, everyone seems to have opinions on how the World Cup is changing and how expensive it is.
They sure do. You feel like an expert now?
No?
Oh.
I'm kidding. I know more now than I did in the beginning. So thank you, Mile.
No problem. And to all the football fans out there, happy watching.
This is Mile and Nora signing off. I think we did really good on that.
I think everyone did great on those segments.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. This is Mile.
And this is Nora.
Thanks for watching.
And have a great weekend.
Bye.